True believers, welcome once again. It must be Tuesday. It has to be a Tuesday.
I've heard that it could be Tuesday.
I believe that it is Tuesday.
I've been shrugging my shoulders all day, so it's got to be Tuesday.
Yeah, 100%. We, of course, are. The Professional Casual Network presents. Wait, did I roll a wild? The Marvel Crisis Protocol vlog. I, of course, am your host, Chuck. And I am joined once again by the CEO, Editor-in-Chief, Supreme Ruling Reptilian Overlord of the Professional Casual Network, Hat Buddies. We're hat buddies.
We are
today.
hat buddies today.
Someone didn't bring a hat.
Oof.
Dan offered me his, and I was like,
That's gross.
I look weird in a hat.
Do you eat cheese puffs out of this? What's this orange stuff?
That's accurate. Tim is here. And really, the only reason why people show up. Yeah, the legitimate viewer driver here at Wait Did I Roll a Wild.
Yep.
The majestic one herself. The legend.
Dani 3-time.
Dani 3-time. Dani,
Thanks.
welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Look, I'm sure we've got some stuff to talk about.
Mhm.
Dan didn't write the notes for the show, so I have no idea what we're doing. Yeah, I don't know. What are we talking about today?
So the same stuff we normally talk about. How to take over the world.
Oh, fair. Super
Sweet.
fair.
But no, we'll talk about games played. Dan and I played a game last week where he ran Cabal with Sin, Viper, and Mr. Sinister.
Mhm.
I ran a Avengers list that had Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch. Lots of blood was spilled in that game.
Right.
Some heavy swings on both sides.
Mm-hmm.
We're also going to talk about how the tactics cards, the Ebony Maw exclusive, stacks up to No More Mutants, two of the other new tactics cards, and maybe a panel to play, maybe a card reveal, and maybe make some wild speculations about an upcoming model.
I feel like wild speculation is the only kind of speculation I want.
Yes.
Like, I like it when it's a little gamey.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that like caged feel to my
Right,
speculation.
or farmed.
Mhm.
I
Yeah,
want
it's
farmed
just,
speculation. No.
right.
Excuse me.
Needs to be earthy, you know?
Earthy. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And, Xavier Protocols put out a whole bunch of new data about Season 5 of the Online Tournament.
Getting into that competitive talk.
We
maybe.
need to sink our teeth into that.
It's all anybody actually cares about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all I
Nobody
care
comes
about.
here for the fun.
No.
You know?
I mean, Scotty does.
Shout out to Scotty.
Shout
Shout out to
Scotty.
specifically my boy and nobody else's.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you guys saw the comment.
I did.
He said, quote, "You're my boy." And I said, "Fuck yeah, I am." Scotty's my boy.
Yeah.
I'm jealous.
I'm going to invite him to my birthday party.
Nobody ever calls me
Ooh.
their.
I would love to have Scotty on the show as a guest sometime.
That would be super.
I don't run this show, so it works out really well for me that I can just yell things and have it be canon.
Yeah.
Or a joke.
No, canon. I'd rather have it be canon than a joke
Yep.
at this point. Yep. Mhm.
Sure.
All right, so let's get right into it. Let's talk about games played, hobby stuff.
Yeah.
I real quick figured out how to do metallic colors.
Oh,
now.
hell yeah.
Yeah.
Currently painting up a Mr. Sinister with a beard.
With a beard.
That's fun.
Baller.
A lot of people have been going for that goatee. You got to go full bar Sinister beard.
Yes. And I figured out that you can mix Citadel contrasts into metallics and get metallic colors. But it's understanding the balance of how much you have to mix in from your dark metallics to your light metallics to get the proper highlights so it doesn't look goofy.
Okay.
So that's been kind of fun. I didn't play this week. However, for the moment that I did pop in,
Yeah.
I thought I was playing myself. There was so much anger and salt. The tension was so high. I was like, oh, that's weird. Huh. Wonder if,
I didn't
wonder if
think I
people are
was-
going to get grounded after this. You know, that's weird.
Yeah, it was a very intense game.
Yes, it was.
So round one, my Valkyrie got dazed. Went right up the middle, as she should, as a boss
Right.
babe.
Yep.
Just wanted to try to recruit Sin and Viper into her own business
Mhm.
where she could, be her own girl boss.
Mhm.
And they responded not very kindly to that.
Sure.
And they dazed her round one and killed her round two.
I bet that they were like, why do we have to differentiate girl boss from just regular boss?
So, which is actually very valid.
Mhm.
Valkyrie just hadn't made it to that level yet.
Right. Yeah.
Valkyrie, participant of the patriarchy.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
She had a friend from high school who messaged her on Facebook and was like, yo, girl, how have you been?
Yeah.
I've been taking these supplements and now my life's great. You know, you could make money too by selling these supplements.
Right. And I drink them in this mug that says girl boss on it.
Yeah. Hashtag girl boss. Even.
Hashtag girl boss.
Mm.
Yeah. Or lady boss.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's written in pink glitter.
Yep.
Yep.
Found it at TJ Maxx.
Yep.
Always.
It actually just says boss on it until you put hot liquid in it. And then the girl shows. Like the old one too. So then you can trick a man into drinking from it. But if he drinks anything hot, he's a girl boss too.
And it's poison.
Yeah, that also. It's
Oh man.
oh
They haven't done enough testing on the hot reveal paints yet. It could very possibly poison you.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
Very legitimate.
Shout out to
Yeah.
McDonald's.
Not a sponsor.
Not sponsor.
But yeah, so we played, went pretty steadily. I believe we played Spider Portals
Uh-huh.
as well as Legacy Virus.
Uh-huh.
I think both of us, Dan and I, were trying to shoot to grab the Legacy Virus and then just blow up one of our people.
Mhm.
But it was pretty evenly matched the whole time. I'd have two, then he'd have two, and we just kind of go back and forth. We got a chance to try out some of the new tactics cards. Dan was able to use the big blaster gun that incinerates everyone around it.
Oh, okay.
Groovy.
With Sin and Crossbones.
Yep.
I was able to finally use the Quicksilver one. Quicksilver one, which lets you take objective tokens from people. But it was pretty good overall. Sinister's a badass.
Mhm.
Viper went down like a chump.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Scarlet
we
Witch-
kind of assumed that she would.
Yeah.
So I very much think that she's probably an objective grabber and like an assist character, like putting a
Yeah.
condition on somebody, but she needs someone to run up with her that's a heavy hitter.
She really needs to be able to attack, especially in Cabal, to be able to get that extra energy,
Mhm.
so she can use the teleport to get back out of danger after she's gotten her stuff. If you
Right.
lead her up to a place, grab an asset token, especially round one, you're sitting duck.
Yes.
Granted, it should be not super easy to get up to her in
Right.
round one to be able to damage because she does have stealth, but with a charge, you get there pretty quick.
Do you think that round one she's a late activation character?
Yes, absolutely.
Did Dan play her like that?
I think she activated first.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
But I think that's a great point because I hadn't thought about that. But yeah, you intimidate with her.
Mhm.
You put her on the flank that you don't intend to go to first because they need to move everything around to be able to take that particular flank first.
Mhm.
And then if you win priority, it's yours. It's
Right.
guaranteed. And that is the thing that I will say about Legacy Virus is those three down the middle. It can be very hard to have a switch there
Mhm.
because they aren't that far up. Most characters with medium or long should be able to get there and pick it up in a
Right.
single round. So yeah.
Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Yesterday, who played?
We
Well-
played.
You and I?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes.
Yes, because this is on a Tuesday.
Yes. I ran Asgard,
Okay.
and there were so many things that happened.
There were. I'm pretty excited
Yeah.
that I was finally able to unseat you in your winning streak.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
And
Total
I
upset.
made it. Yeah, it was an upset because I
Yeah.
made it seem like,
Right.
it was not going to go that way.
right.
And then,
And you never threatened her about rolling her dice ever again.
no.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
Some might say I probably didn't even do it there because
Right.
I'd be terrified to do that as a person.
Fair.
But the thing I will say
Uh-huh.
is that the way Thor is always a threat.
Mhm.
And when that first charge went off, I was terrified that character was just going to be toasted.
Mhm.
Thankfully, it didn't pan out that way for me, not so much for Dani, but the dice do what the dice do.
They sure do.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
But yeah.
Right. Okay. Interesting.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Go over, of course, check that out at twitch.tv/professional casual network, where we stream every Monday night, 7 p.m. It's the power phase.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm super pumped. I haven't played in a while, and I told Dan I wanted to run Asgard because for our big whatever
For the
we're
League.
doing. For the
Mm.
League, I'm doing A-Force and Asgard, and I played A-Force most recently. So I just want a little more practice.
It's super exciting. It's been a while, been a minute since I've had to face She-Hulk every week.
Right.
So like it's probably good. My confidence level in showing up to a table and not having to deal with She-Hulk
Sure.
is pretty high right now.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is now terrifying going into a league where I know she's going to be. And it's like, oh, maybe I need to
Possibly twice.
Yeah.
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 Yep.
Possibly in everybody's team. So we know affiliations, but we don't know what everybody's actually bringing.
We know loose affiliations.
Right. So Dani is Asgard, A-Force. You're going to be everything else that I wanted to take. And I am sitting with either. Oh, no, because you took Asgard. So I'm probably going to do Guardians and Inhumans because, might as well.
Good
They're the only teams that are
boy.
left.
First off, I
Yeah.
didn't take anything because as you will find out later in this episode, I have drastically changed up what I'm going to do based off of the newest data that has come out from Xavier Protocol and their season 5 online tournament data dump.
Mm-hmm. I think I'm still going to end up playing Guardians, Inhumans, and try to paint up my Inhumans as quickly as possible.
Okay.
I don't really know if I want to play, but everybody else is like, fuck, who wants to play Guardians? I was like, all right.
I like Guardians because I like horde lists.
Yeah.
But
Well, if I can
with a horde list like Guardians, it's most of your team, most of your roster.
Well, and if I can get Angela painted up, that's a game changer.
Yes, it is.
So, because she's a beat stick for Guardians.
Mm-hmm.
So, we got news from the tower.
Yeah.
From
the mass of atomic games.
Right. What's the word I'm looking for? Overlords. There we go.
Just gonna say Overlords.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
This is what happens when you're running on 4 hours of sleep because you've been talking to hot girls on the internet all night. Don't be jealous. Don't be jealous. Make yourself a damn quesadilla. We got a panel to play and we got a card.
Yes.
What is first? It looks like the card. Fantastic. It is Black Cat.
It is.
I'm so excited.
The super cool thing here is that we did get the panel to play of this for last week.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're watching this video fresh, never mind.
Yep. Uh-huh.
But I like it. This is probably one of the strongest 3-threat characters. I think certainly coming down the pipe, potentially currently in the game.
Sure.
5 health on both sides, long movement, size 2, 3 threat, 3s across the board for defense. Cat claws, basic builder, only 4 strength, which honestly kind of balances out some of the other stuff later.
Mhm.
I have been, and I've also been noticing that 3-threat characters more often have a 4 strike than a 5 strike.
Mm.
Unless they are more built for combat,
Right.
they seem to only have a 4 strike, which is fair, I think.
I think that I almost want to say they're kind of like leaning on it to
Right.
almost counter argue power creep because
Sure.
they've been adding some really fucking baller abilities to
Right.
some of these 3 threats. And then they kind of like scale back,
Right.
like Mystique being able to blow up buildings and being a long movement
Mhm.
and having an affiliation ability. But then they made her pistol, 4 strength.
Right.
And you have to roll something specific to get the rapid fire. It's not an automatic rapid fire.
Right. Like Punisher.
Punishers. Yep.
Right. So it's not guaranteed 2 energy every turn.
Yeah.
Correct.
Right.
But range 2, strength 4, basic builder. She gains power for the damage dealt, but in pierce on a wild. The super kind of bombastic thing that she has is troublemaker. Range 3, strength 6, only 2 power. If the attack would deal 1 or more damage, it deals 1 instead. So this is just like Shuri's Panther Gauntlets.
Mhm.
The thing is that after the attacker is resolved, the target character gains the stagger special condition.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. Range 3, stagger is fucking disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't need to have a wild to trigger. Doesn't have to do damage to trigger like the 2-point Black Widows does. And then also on a wild has elusive, so she can make a short advance afterwards. This is terrifying
Mhm.
on a threat 3 character. She also has a range 2 teleport drop called Grappling Hook. This is the same thing that we've seen. This is Hop. This is Viper's teleport ring.
So it's 3? No, it's 2.
Mm-hmm.
The others are 2 as well.
Are they? Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason I was thinking somebody's was 3, and I was like, that's weird.
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking Hawkeye's was 3 for some reason, but it's not. It's 2.
Oh, his is 2?
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because on Avengers you can use it turn 1.
Right.
Yep. And then the huge deal, which is going to make her just absolutely incredible, is Master Cat Burglar. 3 power. Choose an enemy character within range 1 of this character. Move an asset or civilian token from the chosen character to yourself.
Mhm.
The character is now holding that token. Yeah. We've seen this on Enchantress.
Right. So and Enchantress has other qualities that
Yeah.
make her super brutal.
Mhm.
But the fact that Black Cat's only a 3 and Enchantress is a 4,
Yeah.
that for 7 threat you can do this twice.
Yeah.
And it costs the same.
Mm-hmm.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
It's gonna make extraction crazy. You
Yeah.
are gonna have to bring. I don't even know. At this point, I don't even know how you counter this, because you no longer need tough hitters
Right.
to knock off. You can just take it, and so she steals. She does troublemaker. She bounces out, and then she moves along.
Yeah.
Like shit.
Yep.
You know.
So granted 5 power on a character that only has 5 health. So you're going to have to be doing some work on your strength 4 attack. She is absolutely going to be power starved.
Mhm.
But you throw her in an Avengers list and it's an entirely different equation, or a force to be able to pump power
Mhm.
into her.
Yep.
And humans. I mean, there's a lot of ways to put power on characters
Right.
now.
And this is what's also super important to point out is this is not a do it every turn situation.
No.
So even if you're just bringing, I think we're going to see advanced R&D go back up, way up in the ranks.
Absolutely, we will.
Yeah, because it's just like, hey, this is the one turn that I need to pull this off. Everybody's gonna, I've had Wong sitting in the back jerking it,
Yeah.
and just building up power, and now I'm just gonna go share it to everybody.
Mhm.
You know,
But she also
Scary.
has stealth and then bad luck, so characters cannot modify their attack dice when targeting this character
Mhm.
with attacks.
That's cool.
Yeah.
so like a reverse. I kind of like the idea of putting her, Domino, and Enchantress all on a list.
Oh, for
Oh.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Comparatively, I mean, we made a lot of speculations last week. We pretty much thought that this is what she was going to have. There wasn't a whole lot to leave to the imagination with her.
Right.
She's a cat burglar. She's going to steal things.
It would have been cool. It would have been cool to maybe make her a 4 threat and then have an ability where she can interact within 2.
Yeah.
You know, but she doesn't need all of the things.
Correct.
You know, I like her. I really like her in this spot as a 3.
Yeah.
She's on Crime Syndicate. She's on Spider Foes.
We don't know yet. We don't know all the stuff that she's.
She's on somebody's card.
Because currently she is just on
Web Warriors.
Criminal Syndicate.
Oh, just Criminal Syndicate.
I don't think she's on Web Warriors yet.
Okay.
Spider foes would make sense too.
Yeah.
I'd be curious if they do that because, yeah, she absolutely, I mean, canonically belongs on Spider Foes, Web Warriors,
Mhm.
and Criminal Syndicate.
Right.
But I wouldn't be shocked if
And-
she's on all 3 of those and Cabal.
Right. And I mean, Spider Foes is in a weird spot because a lot of their characters I feel like their affiliation is going to be very similar to Guardians affiliation, where people are not going to use that affiliation ever because all of those characters need their power.
Yeah.
So to spend 1 to make your opponent re-roll a defense die,
Mm-hmm.
so it could potentially backfire on you. I don't think I ever used it.
100% of the times I used it, I rolled a defensive success of theirs into a defensive success for them.
Right.
So and I spent power to do it.
Right.
If it was free, absolutely. I'll always take a free chance to do that.
Like a
If
free
it's once
Pierce.
around or
Right.
yeah, or once per whatever. But no, that sucked.
Yeah.
And it's worse than Pierce because you re-roll it. It's not like you're turning it to a blank.
Right.
Like-
And that's the point. Like if you could just mitigate it,
Mhm.
totally. Like, yes, I pay an energy, and maybe it's like this character may only do this once per activation.
Yes.
Like, so limit it so you can't do it on every attack that they do, especially if they all you got. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Makes
or make it cost more than 1. If it's
Yeah.
an automatic Pierce, I'm willing to pay 2 for it.
Yeah.
You know?
But it's tough because and we don't know what Lizard does yet. But we did get the panel play for Kraven.
We did.
But he sounds like he's going to be power hungry. Goblin's power hungry.
Yep.
Mysterio, we've seen his card. He's power hungry.
I kind of don't mind that thematically.
Right. It makes sense.
Yeah.
Because they all are kind of souped up dudes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, and I'm going to assume probably all high threat. So I do like if she is on Spider Foes that she's a 3 threat.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because they need that.
Yeah, they really do.
They have a lot of 4s. Handful of 3s. I think it's just like Doc Ock.
Doc Ock so far.
Yeah.
But
Venom.
Carnage is a 4.
Carnage is a 4. Kingpin's a 4. Green Goblin's a 4.
Yep.
Mysterio will be a 3.
Yeah, Mysterio, Doc Ock, and if she's on it, will be. And I see Kraven being a 4.
Oh yeah.
The way that this panel play is sounding anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as far as the panel to play goes, we didn't really get all that much. We got
some typos.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got some weird wording.
Oh, jeez.
Some
You love to see it.
You know who didn't write this?
Dallas. Yeah. If Dallas had written this, number one, it's the only thing we would be talking about in this particular episode because it would just be absolutely gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Soliloquies.
Yeah.
Just soliloquies.
Mm-hmm.
You know I love a soliloquy.
Mm-hmm.
So as far as Kraven goes, we got a little bit of information. We know that he's going to have an innate the elixir of Calypso, which if you haven't had the blue raspberry Calypso lemonades, oh my God, they are gorgeous. Not only do they look pretty, it tastes like the color blue, which is really all I care about. But he can reroll. He's an inhuman, apparently, effectively.
Yep.
He can reroll something during attack and defense rolls.
Mm-hmm.
Outside that, they did have a really poorly worded sentence about what may be a trap.
Right.
How he can choose a target and until the start of their next turn, they suffer a damage. Is how it's
Until
worded.
the end of the character's next activation, they suffer 1 damage.
So my guess, this ability is called Corner the Beast, is that he chooses a target. If they end a movement within range 3 of them, he deals damage to them.
Right. And it's probably just a flat damage.
Yes.
Yes.
Similar to a booby traps.
Yep.
Or pumpkin bomb, or not pumpkin bombs. What's
Night of the Goblins?
Night of the Goblin, without rolling for it, which I think that's cool.
Or no, Trick or Treat. Sorry, it's
yes.
Trick or Treat. Yep.
So depending on how that works, I see it being a trap. It apparently also removes Wall Crawler, which is both.
Yeah, I like that he's super thematic and that he's designed to take down spider like web warriors and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is why I see that being a trap. That's a bear trap. You get your leg caught in a bear trap. You're not crawling up walls and scaling stuff anymore. You take a little bit of damage. That's how I see that kind of playing out.
I kind of like the idea that he gets to. I would like it if he had very specific tokens that you get to put down as traps.
Yes.
I think it'd be really cool. And if the character moves within range 1 or finishes its movement maybe within range 1, so you put it right on an objective that they have to get within range 1 of, that'd be really cool. I mean, but think who this hurts. This hurts all the web warriors.
Yep.
This hurts Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Man, who else has wall crawler at this point? Half the armies. Half the squads and the other half have flight.
Correct.
Unless you're Crossbones.
Unless you're Crossbones. Yeah. You don't need it.
Right.
He just, I mean, you can't slow him down.
Mm-mm.
You put slow on him, does nothing.
He is the Thomas the Tank Engine of the Marvel Crisis Protocol universe.
That's why they call him the boss of Crowns.
Yep. It's true.
But he is apparently going to have some ability that as long as he is focus firing on one character, probably pretty similar, and we've said this a bunch of times, Killmonger vibes.
Yep.
Probably gets extra dice if he attacks the same target more than once in a turn, or chooses a prey target and gets benefits both attacking and almost like a commutable Peter Parker hate that Green Goblin has.
Yep.
That's what this really reminded me of.
Yeah.
Yep, 100%.
So I believe our assumption was at the start of the power phase, he gets to pick a prey. Pick somebody on the field, and if he attacks them specifically, he gets all of these extra things.
I could see it almost being like Usurp the Throne built in. Maybe you don't get to choose. Maybe it is always the highest threat character on the other team because he's a trophy hunter.
Right.
He's always going for the biggest.
Okay.
That would be actually super. That'd be super cool. Yeah. Which would make him. Oh, I mean, if he has Usurp the Throne built in,
yeah,
is he a 5?
So I would love to see a primarily martial regular dude character with a threat 5.
Yeah,
I'm assuming 4.
I am too. I didn't want to say it on Black Hat necessarily, but I do feel like we're getting a little bit of a power creep with some of the stuff that has come out recently. We saw Wanda just go apeshit bananas.
Yeah.
She's a 5. I think there is a legitimate argument that maybe she should be a 6 with everything that she can potentially pull off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If Kraven's a 4, I think there is an argument that if he has Usurp the Throne built into him.
But it's not obviously going to be full Usurp the Throne. You're not going to get victory points from it.
Right. But still just getting, or what if he does?
Right.
You know, like what if he's a 5 threat where he every time, like,
yeah.
What if it's only on his healthy side? Like what if he is, what's his nuts? Thanos.
Yeah.
Where it's like it's an innate ability, but when he flips, he loses the ability and he doesn't score you victory points anymore.
Yeah.
Makes you be hyper aggressive right off the bat with him to try and maybe it's not days, maybe it's just KO characters, right? So it's like, or maybe it's the reverse. Maybe when he does flip, then he starts scoring you victory points in the back end.
So I could see
I really like that
being all or nothing because you put Kraven in a list against She-Hulk, and now that's the character you have to target to get half of his abilities to go off.
Right.
Is like, well, what's the point?
Yeah, but if he can murk her in 2 turns, you know what I mean? Like if he can do it.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. If he can murk her in 2 turns, he could do it.
Right. No, but I'm saying like if he is specifically built to take down the highest threat character.
Yeah.
And AMG looked at it and said, look, She-Hulk needs counters somehow. Needs something.
Yeah.
Like you're like the turn that Killmonger gets to use Usurp the Throne, he could very easily take her down. Especially if she already has a little bit of damage on her.
Yeah.
If like Kraven is that kind of counter to that too, I don't see why not. Yeah. And we have the new Amazing Spider-Man coming out. He's a shit brick house. You know?
Yes, he is.
So like maybe they actually did design all of these new Spider foes to be the counter to the new Peter Parker. We don't know.
Yeah, super fair.
Yeah.
That said, we don't know anything about his attacks. We just know that he has a kukri and a spear.
Right. My assumption is probably a 5 strike.
Yeah.
And it said so that it mentions that he likes to like kill close. So I'm assuming that he won't really have like huge range on any of his attacks like some of the other ones.
I mean, yeah.
Maybe one, like maybe the spear is like going to be a range 3 and has a place within 1 or a small movement or something. And you know, that is something I forgot. They did mention that in 1 turn, he could land a total of 12 attack dice against a single character and make both a short and medium advance to boot. So I guess I'm assuming probably maybe both of his attacks. If not, maybe he has 3 attacks even, where he can make advances and movements afterwards.
Do you think he's going, and I see this happening because we haven't seen it in a while, he cannot interact with objectives?
I don't see that.
Like he can't, like maybe he can hold objectives, but he cannot pick them up. So like Nebula cannot interact or hold objectives.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and Wasp cannot pick up objectives when they're small.
Correct.
What if he can hold objectives like in a location, but he cannot pick them up?
So he could secure, but not.
Right. He can secure, but he cannot pick up
because that wouldn't be his priority.
Right. That's not, he is a hunter. He's a prize hunter.
Yeah.
He cares more about the kill than he does Joe Schmo spider infected. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
I could certainly see that.
Right. Like Hunter's Pride, it's called, or something stupid like that.
Right.
Right.
I've always seen him more of a schemer and a planner because he sets up things. So I don't personally think that they would have him not be able to. Yeah, I could see it either way.
Yeah. Well, and that's a huge way to balance him
It absolutely
back
is.
down to a 4.
Mhm.
The fact that he can't, it was like, cool, he can run up. He can't touch herbs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So in the panel to play, they kind of make it a big deal of like, on his turn, if he focuses his energy, he can land a total of 12 attack dice. That isn't really excessive between 2 attacks.
Yeah.
No, not when She-Hulk's out there.
Right.
Not when Wanda's out there.
I mean, Quicksilver. Yeah, so that's just 2 builders for her. But even Quicksilver, even Baron Zemo,
Mhm.
2 strength 6 attacks is only 4 power.
Right.
So I guess I don't see that being excessive, but yeah, I don't know.
I don't hate it.
No.
I think I will love the character. I've always been a huge Kraven fan.
Same.
Like of all, like other than Mysterio, Kraven was always my favorite Spider villain. So and even then he wasn't really ever he was in the beginning, like when Spider-Man becomes Man Spider, like that was when Kraven was introduced in the cartoon.
Yeah.
So like he was never really a bad guy. He kind of was, but he wasn't.
Yeah, he's just a little off kilter.
Yeah.
He wasn't trying to rob banks and stuff. He'd be like, oh, Spider-Man's the dangerous game. I'm going to get him in the woods and try to wrestle him.
Right.
And that was about it. That's kind of his whole arc.
Yeah.
Right. Pretty much. So y'all want to just like blow loads over some statistics here? Or?
Before we move, let's do Lizard first.
Oh, I forgot he was existing.
Wild
Yes.
speculations here.
That model is fucking ridiculous.
It is.
It looks so tactical sploosh. Like, give it to me. Actually,
that's
let's
sploosh.
Let's talk about the other model that they had revealed. Casanova Frankenstein.
Yes.
Shout out to Voldemort floating on a Hadouken.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't know who she is. I know you are like losing. You're like, oh my God, I can't believe they made her of all goddamn people. I still don't know who she is.
Yes.
I don't know why she's floating on a Hadouken. I don't know why she's coming to tell Harry that he's a wizard. I don't know what's happening with this model.
So, once
It's
again,
very exciting.
Cassandra Nova is Professor X's twin
Mm-hmm.
that he killed in utero because she was evil
And super powerful.
and super powerful. So she ended up coming back later because she was, in fact, so powerful
And bald.
and bald.
Ball chicks are hot in my opinion. So
I mean, it runs in the family, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
Fair.
Okoye all day.
Yeah.
Hell yes.
I will say she looks very threatening with that scarf.
She does.
Yeah.
And that cane.
Mhm.
So she's got a lot going on. She's got pants that are tucked into her boots. She's got a belt, a shirt.
She looks like a college professor.
A Doctor Who trench coat.
She does.
Yes.
She very much
Yeah.
does.
She looks like she's about to teach me some liberal arts or something.
But that green floating sewer geyser that she is floating on, as you described as the tactical Hadouken,
Yes.
is not what I would have expected.
No.
Is that a power? Is that her power? I don't know. Like, what is it?
She's like a telepath,
She's a
right?
psychic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't really know.
Yeah, because it
Or-
doesn't look like a fire hydrant explosion.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it looks like some type of weird energy Hadouken, literally. I'm sorry, Gadouken.
Yeah.
We were corrected in our Discord. Head over to patreon.com/professional casual. Get in that Discord.
If I didn't know that this was Cassandra Nova, I would think that it was like the ancient one or whatever. from
Yes.
Doctor Strange.
Yep.
Yeah.
Legit.
Has heavy vibes of exactly
Yep.
that.
And the Gadouken
Yeah, I don't know, whatever.
looks much more along those lines than Cassandra Nova.
Much like Ecto Cooler.
Yes.
Mm.
Cassandra Nova and Ecto Cooler both had their initial strong run in the 90s and are now making a resurgence. So maybe that's what this is. Maybe it is a geyser of Ecto Cooler lifting her up from where she came.
And some people kept cases of Cassandra Nova in their basements for 30 years.
They did.
So
Some of us still have them in our basement.
Some of us have tattoos of Cassandra Nova
Yeah.
on
That's
our
true.
arms.
Leg.
Leg
Yes.
is what I meant to say.
Yes.
Yeah.
So,
Guilty. I love bald chicks.
so the big thing, and this makes a lot of sense canonically in why Professor X would have killed Cassandra Nova because she was too powerful.
Mhm.
There's one thing. They're both bald, right? Both high level psychics. Cassandra Nova, though, can walk.
Fucker.
It's fair.
You know?
It's a weird,
Just ain't
it's a weird
right.
flex. but here we
Cassandra
go.
Nova can tuck her parachute pants directly into her calf high boots.
Right.
Yep.
Professor X has never been able to do that.
Nor would he need to. He's not going, jaunting through the jungle.
Correct. Except
So-
for that one time in the Savage Worlds where he jaunted through the jungle because for whatever reason when he's there he can walk.
Right.
But
We don't know why.
It's so weird that it's her and not Professor X first, though.
maybe that's why. Maybe they're like, maybe instead of dealing with the whole Professor X issue, they put
Right.
her in instead.
Right.
I mean, it could be the same model, very honestly.
How many people do you think are going to make a wheelchair and mod out her legs and make her look like Professor X?
Legitimately, a hard 15 to 20% of the people that
Yeah.
put that model together will make it into Professor X in a wheelchair.
Yeah, pretty much.
One knee's already bent too, you know?
Yep, 100%. It's weird.
She's not even Jon Snow.
That's true. Is that a Game of Thrones reference?
It is.
Yeah.
I haven't gone that far.
He sometimes bends a knee.
Oh. Well,
Or his ass too, at least. But the Jean Grey model also looks bad ass.
Love her.
So that looks looking real dope. Yeah, the energy, the Jean Grey model is ridiculously gorgeous. I don't get the energy beam, her telekinesis energy beam around her, but it is
Yeah,
what
I
it is.
feel like these, like the staging, it's like, well, we can't just have them standing there. We have to, make sure that we attach her calf to the energy beam
Yep.
around her to make
Yeah.
her as delicate as
Listen,
possible.
too many people have been complaining about rocks. Let's find literally everything else.
Right.
Hadoukens, splooshes, energy beams, towers exploding,
Ecto cooler.
the tiniest rock we can find to put under a foot,
Right.
just in case. But the lizard, what do we think is going to happen? That model's ridiculous.
It is
So cool.
cool looking.
It is ridiculous.
Tactical sewage water with
A manhole cover.
The manhole cover flying off it. This might be the best model they've ever made.
This model has everything you want in a model. I would
Yeah,
argue.
very true. I'm very interested to see how easy it's going to be to mod. I wonder how actually intertwined. Like, was Mr. Sinister's leg just a precursor to the insanity puzzle that this is going to be?
yeah.
You know what I mean? How many pieces are those water splooshes? 427 little plastic droplets.
Right.
One thing I'd really like to see people do for modding on this one is just move the entire water, just all of it up a little bit. Take out the manhole cover and have them bursting out of a toilet.
Yes. Oh my
Very
gosh.
possible.
And have little like streaks of brown in the
Yeah.
swoosh.
Yeah.
That's
Yep.
what I want to say.
Fair.
A little turd in there.
That the hand too is perfectly like cusped
Yes.
to be holding a roll of toilet paper.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then maybe a newspaper in the other.
Speaking of perfectly cusped, have you guys seen, and I apologize to whoever did the mod. If you're watching, shout out to us. The Mr. Sinister holding Cyclops' head with the spine attached to it in
What?
the Facebook group.
I did not see that.
It looks super dope. And all it is just the spare head from Cyclops.
Uh-huh.
And his hand just fits perfectly. So it looks like he's holding the head with they green stuffed a spine onto it.
Yes.
It looks super dope.
Who was it? Was that Sub-Zero had that fatality in the
Yes.
first Mortal Kombat?
Yep.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
looked red as
It looked-
balls.
So what do we think is going to happen with Lizard?
4 threat.
Yep.
Probably a throw where he can throw size 2 things or smaller.
Sure.
Probably throwing it small.
Yeah.
A little bit of strength, not a massive amount.
Sure.
Maybe a leap. Maybe he has a hop.
I could see it.
I
I'd more say an ambush. I think it's going to be built into the attack, but very possible. I think he's going to have a water gun.
hydro pump.
Yes.
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah.
I guess. Yeah, I see regular strength 5 builder, maybe with a push or a throw after it, and then a larger attack.
I could see his builder having on a wild he gets a push. It's like a tail whip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because he was his tail was always very strong and he could knock people back with it in the cartoon.
I wonder if he'll get some kind of like heal or regenerate.
That would be rad,
You know?
actually.
I feel like we don't have
I think
a lot
he'll
of
get
that.
regeneration. I don't think he's going to get healing factor because they will not want him to have access to the Weapon X.
Yeah,
Right.
fair.
So he'll probably get regenerate. Where he,
Okay.
what's the one that Nebula has? That's called regeneration, right, or something like that.
Cybernetic enhancements. It's part of her reroll defense die, and
She gets
it's all
it
part of
at the beginning of the turn.
correct.
So I have a feeling he'll get a beginning of the turn, not an end of the turn, because healing factor always applies to the end of the turn,
Yeah.
correct? Right. So I bet you he'll get it at the beginning. I think what his gimmick is going to be is he's going to be insane on his injured side. I think he will almost be like Wolverine on his injured side,
Yes.
where
Okay.
he maybe can no longer hold objectives,
Mhm.
but he is just better on the other side. He gets maybe increase attacks, or he gets a superpower that allows him to increase attacks.
Yeah.
You know, he gets to add dice for every X number of dice or energy he spends,
Mhm.
something like that.
As far as defenses, I see 4-3-2 is
Mm.
very potential.
Which would make sense.
Yeah.
I would almost say 4-4-2,
So
just with the power creep.
yeah,
Yeah.
I hope it's not, because that's.
What if it's
I don't know.
4-4-1?
Cap has it. Yeah. So very specifically, yeah, I do not think he's going to have a stellar mystic defense.
Right.
And Kraven, honestly, probably is not going to have a massive energy defense either. He's just a dude.
What if Kraven's 3s across the board? That would also balance him for a 4.
Yeah.
Into a 5 is like, yeah, well, he just sucks. Like his defenses are not great.
Yeah.
Because
He's
he's
6 as far as damage or whatever.
6'6" or 7'6", I could see. Oh, 7's pretty high.
7's high.
Could be
but
6'5". Could be a 6'5" when he flips.
But yeah, I don't see anything super flashy happening for Lizard. I think we basic builder, a stronger attack, both physical, obviously,
Hmm.
maybe some pierce and bleed,
Gets wall crawler.
and a throw,
Mm.
and wall crawler. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think he's going to be like whatever he is. He's going to be a solid 4.
Mhm.
But I don't think unless they do give him now he's a murder machine when you flip him.
Yeah.
I don't see. I think you're the same. I think he's just going to be a solid 4, but nothing new. No new gimmick.
Right.
Yeah.
Probably a pounce. So a range 3 attack
Oh,
where he can then move in.
Pounce would make a
or-
lot of sense.
Or just a flat straight
Yeah,
2 power. He can launch himself small. He doesn't take the collision damage. And
that would actually make a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe
Okay.
a flurry
I'm down with that.
or a follow-up attack of
Yeah.
some form. But yeah. Basic bruiser.
hmm What if on his front side
Mhm.
he's got a 4 strike, but when he flips, it goes up to a 6 strike because he gets his arm, because he has actually become the lizard.
Oh.
Right.
Healthy side is Kurt Connors.
Yes.
One-armed professor.
Yeah. One-armed professor Kurt Connors, who
2s across the board.
2s across the
3
board,
health.
3 health. He gets to interact with things for free.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's all he doesn't even have a strike. He can't
Yeah.
even attack.
Yeah.
Right.
And then he flips and then he's the lizard. And he's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Plot twist.
We got it. Yeah. It's canon.
Why don't we work for Atomic Mass Games?
I-
Like,
It's a great question.
To be fair, we tried and nobody filled out the application.
we did go for interviews, but we just stood outside Dallas Kemp's office breathing heavily on the glass,
Uh-huh.
and they asked us to leave.
They did. It's true.
that's fair.
So
Yeah. All right. Now, do you want to jerk off about statistics?
I do.
Okay.
I
Stand out,
absolutely
baby.
do. So we got the season 5 roster stats for the Xavier Protocols online tournament.
Mhm.
Because we've seen some new characters come out, we've seen some shifts. Not massive overhauled changes, but season 4, Angela and Enchantress had just come out. Asgard's was the #1 affiliation because they were a brick shit house.
Mhm.
Angela, Enchantress, and Valkyrie were thought to be the highest throughput characters in the game. Now that we have Wanda, Quicksilver, Sin, Viper, and Mr. Sinister, we've seen Brotherhood of Mutants rise to the top. Granted, it was in second place before. It's always been a strong affiliation, but now it is the #1, and Asgard dropped to #6,
Mm-hmm.
which I guess isn't shocking. It's still really good.
Mhm.
And and only dropped about half of its overall percentage too. So it went from a 23% of being able to be made to 11, while Brotherhood crept from 18% up to 34. Wakanda still high, A4 still high. Cabal and Web Warriors were significantly higher than they were before. Like significantly higher.
Holy cow.
Yeah, especially Web Warriors. Now, Cabal kind of always did float around that mid to almost mid high.
They were bottom 4.
Yeah, 8%.
Were they really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Having a new affiliation leader in Viper and Sinister has really kind of fleshed them out to probably, filled in a lot of holes that they were lacking.
I love to see this with the release of new characters too,
Same.
where it really like adds so much more and gets people to break out of, well, this is the list that always works, so this is just what I'm going to play. This encourages you to kind of, get out of your comfort zone and try something different.
And, one other thing that we've seen here too is that Spider Foes continued to be at the bottom. They removed unaffiliated. Apparently no one played unaffiliated in this particular round, but Black Order moved up. And there's been no changes there. There's been no updates.
Interesting.
Well, but we don't know we don't actually have rosters, right? Out of like what people are using specifically.
Yeah.
Oh, did I just not scroll enough?
Yep. Because the character breakdowns are here too.
Right. Character breakdown. But I mean like specifically what people are bringing team wise. Is there a new character that people have figured out works really well in Black Order?
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha. Maybe with a lot of the roster changes, being able to bring 4 characters and have a fully fleshed out other affiliation isn't exactly the worst thing in the world. Also, let's take a look to see if Execute has moved up the list as far as how often people are bringing that, because I found Execute to be really a go-to when She-Hulk was regularly on the fucking field.
Also, super curious what it is about Web Warriors that made it jump so high. Because looking at characters, the first Web Warrior character that comes up is Miles Morales.
Right.
At 24%.
Yeah.
Then Ghost Spider. Then we don't get another Web Warrior until Venom at 13%.
Yeah. But we do see Taskmaster being taken pretty regularly.
Daredevil's at 7%. That's absurd.
Yeah, he's like a bad Wolverine.
How fucking dare you? I have never, realistically speaking, I have never wanted to actually punch you in the throat. But right now, I am cocked, locked, and ready to rock. Don't you ever talk about my DD like that ever again.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair.
Oh, Lord.
Some of the biggest changes that we did see are obviously now with the introduction of Scarlet Witch. She is number 2, taken on 57% of all rosters.
And Koye though, Okoye is still up there.
Yeah,
still number
She's
one.
still number 1.
She moved up.
Yeah,
She's number 2 for season 4. Moved up from 57% of rosters to 66.
Now this is also what I find super interesting, just because of how things break down. A-Force is ranked 3. Wakanda is 2. Brotherhood of Mutants is 1. But if you look at the character breakdown,
yes,
Scarlet Witch, Valkyrie, which makes sense at 2 and 3. Okoye 1. Enchantress. She's not on A-Force. She's not in Brotherhood. She's not in Wakanda.
So they must be pairing her up with those.
Right, but it's just so weird that she's so highly ranked, and yet Asgard dropped so far.
Right.
It did.
So I wonder what kind of, like you were saying before, Chuck, I wonder like what kind of like special combination people have found that uses Enchantress with those type of
where is Enchantress fitting in other, I mean, I would say crime, like we have been saying Crime Syndicate. Yeah. She would work great in Crime Syndicate's below Asgard. So I don't.
So that trio has stayed. Granted, Angela has fallen off a lot because she is very expensive. But Valkyrie, regardless of the affiliation you put her on, is very high throughput. She is super worth the points that she costs in almost all situations.
Yes.
Enchantress being able to,
allegedly.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Unless she gets gimped.
Yeah.
Hard.
Or just can't hit the broadside of a barn.
Right. She could hit. She just rolled 0 successes on defense dice.
Wouldn't know.
Fair.
Literally have never hit with her.
Gotcha.
But also what I also find super weird is She-Hulk is at 14%, but A-Force is ranked 3rd.
Mm-hmm. So to clarify these stats, these affiliations are ones that could be made. Obviously, you can make 2 to 3 per roster.
But for A-Force to be so high, and yet She-Hulk is taken so low.
Yeah.
But She-Hulk is their affiliation leader.
Mm-hmm.
Yet Miles Morales is higher. So where's Miles going in other places other than Web Warriors? You know what I mean?
But once again, so this kind of piggybacks off of the Enchantress thing. So characters that can remove asset tokens from other characters are highly valuable.
Sure.
And as we've gotten a couple more of those, I think Miles Morales was probably super underwhelming to people at first because they constantly forgot that Venom Blast was there and knocked objective tokens off of people. Mm-hmm. Enchantress being able to just straight up steal them probably was a little bit of a sleeper ability for a little while because people were like, I'm never going to get up there. I don't want to move her up. But once you start playing around just being able to straight up jack an objective token from someone, especially now with like Quicksilver and the Can I Borrow That or whatever it's called tactics card.
Right.
We're going to be seeing a lot more of that. And with Black Cat coming out too, I think she will also be one that you're not seeing Web Warriors or whatever affiliation she's going to be on a lot, but she's going to be taken like 30% of the time because she can just straight up jack points from people.
Mm-hmm. Mystique ranked really high.
Oh yeah, she's awesome. Long movement, blow stuff up.
But why do I not see Magneto on this list? Yo, shout out to the 1% who's taking Iron Man.
Ultron has in fact stayed at his
0.
At his 0%.
I didn't have Iron Man for like the longest time. Mm-hmm. He was the only character that I hadn't purchased because I never bought the core box.
Yeah.
I essentially split it and kind of bought everything out of parts because I didn't really want the terrain. So I got everything else and slowly we're picking up characters that I wanted. Mm-hmm. I finally picked up Iron Man because I saw somebody do a really sick conversion with him. Not conversion, but like reposing with him. And I thought it looked really good. And I wanted to try to do it. And I figured, all right, I'll paint him up like Iron Patriot. Yeah. Because that's the Osborn Iron Patriot's my favorite version of Iron Man, pretty much. And I was looking over his card and he's, for a 4, he seems pretty solid. He seems good. Now, I know that he was really hot when the game first came out.
Right.
And maybe it's just people got tired of him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very vanilla. There's not a lot there. He has 2 very basic attacks. He has 1 steroid and invulnerable or whatever. And that's it. There's not.
Yeah, but it just seems good. Yeah. Like it still seems like a solid 4 character. Now I know.
Is he 4?
Yeah, he's 4.
Ugh.
With all the new stuff coming out and you've got like flashy abilities, like people want to branch out. He's still like solid, beginner box, whatever.
Yeah.
You can take him when you need that.
And he's only in Avengers.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's not even the leader. You know what I mean? Like he's just a dude.
But yeah, man, I wish he was a 3. I really thought he was a 3 because 4 physical defense with invincibility is awesome.
Yeah.
Or invulnerability, but he doesn't really have a ton going on.
I am like 99% sure he is a 4.
He probably is.
Because I thought I was like, oh, okay. So like,
because I
like him better than Captain Marvel.
Because I would consider throwing him in at a 3,
right?
Not at a 4, which is probably why we never see him.
Yeah.
But speaking of rosters, I have decided I'm going to play the bottom 10 characters from this list for the league.
I am wrong. He is a 3. I'm sorry.
So we will.
I was joking.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, he's a 3.
So we will have Ronan, Iron Man, Star-Lord, Wasp, Bullseye, Captain Marvel, Gamora, Hela, Winter Soldier, and Baby Boy Ultron at 0% across the board.
That's a goofy list for you.
Yep. Got to get those unaffiliated numbers up,
Yeah.
It's got people I love, though. I love Ronan. Gamora's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Winter Soldier can I build any affiliation with this?
This is also super important to point out.
Mhm.
There is no ranking of people who are taking on affiliation.
Yeah.
And I would be surprised if it didn't happen.
So in season 4, it did. I think very legitimately everyone was able to, in fact, everyone took a leader this time around.
Right.
Because in season 4, unaffiliated was, in fact, at the bottom.
Right.
Right under
Yeah,
Spider Foes.
100%.
So somebody was bringing a weird list.
Yeah, 3% of the East Coast rosters had no way to make an affiliation.
Or there was we had She-Hulk, Magneto, Thanos on a list.
Yeah.
You know? There is like a goofy list that floats with Black Order that's like not, but the list doesn't count as being Black Order, but it's like Thanos, MODOK, and somebody else, like super random.
Mhm.
But it does not float to being Black Order.
Right. Which I could totally see. And very legitimately, is there a reason to really play Guardians? Like, I think Guardians personally has a bunch of great characters on it. But their affiliation ability is straight up dog shit.
Mhm.
So even if you're going to run mostly Guardians characters,
So it's interesting.
do you really need to fit Star-Lord in there?
Well, you do, because you need, if you want to take Curse of the Milano or Crew of the Milano.
Yeah.
And there's, maybe that's the only card that they get.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't have
but-
a ton.
Yeah.
So it's interesting that you say that, because from my understanding, most people who play Guardians
Mhm.
heavily rely on Wing It. But they rely on Wing It for characters that are not in Guardians.
Yes.
It's whoever else they are bringing
Right.
who can super benefit from winging it.
Mhm.
Ghost Rider fits really well in Guardians, and he benefits from those winging it tokens.
Yep.
So yeah, bring whatever tactics cards you want that you can potentially burn off for no reason. So like field dressing med pack. Like if you just got a horde list, you don't need to flip them or bring them back. Yeah, burn them off. Get some winging tokens.
As far as secures and extracts went, number one in both slots stayed the same. Gamma Waves was the number one secure, and Fear Grips, Hammers remained the number one extract. Everything under that changed a little bit, but not a whole ton. We do not see they switched in what order they did it.
Look,
Research Station Attacked is the new one from the Scarlet Witch box.
Mm-hmm.
Taking 42% of the time for a newbie to come in and just apparently be number 2.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like everything else that came in that box. And Scarlet Witch is certainly right there too.
But look at those top 5.
Mhm.
That is interesting, because there's 3 of them are restricted cards.
Yep.
Advanced R&D's in there, which is not surprising. Well, look, what's number 3 there, Tim? The bane of Dan's existence.
Haven't played it in over a month. Still gets brought up. You're not bringing better rivals, are you? No, I'm not. Yeah, it was a great card.
It's like
We slept on it.
yeah,
Well, I just happened to take it that one time, and I was like, oh wow, this is real good.
yeah. Like, who hurt you, baby? You know what I mean? Like, who hurt you, baby child?
But MedPack and Brace for Impact throws have only gotten more important. People are finally getting on that throw train, because obviously no one had ever used throws until I did.
Mhm.
I kind of started that whole
Right.
thing.
Right.
Trendsetter.
So,
Yeah.
But field dressing, advanced R&D. I feel like advanced R&D kind of fell off for a little bit. Look at the season 4 tactics cards. I don't think advanced R&D was that high. The throughput's not amazing on there, but you're always going to use it.
Mhm.
Yeah, so it moved up, not a ton, moved up a single slot, but it was top 5 before. Now it's top 4. But No More Mutants, another newcomer,
Mhm.
coming right in below field dressing.
Which I find really, so we'll get into it when we talk about some tactics cards, but Wong is just at the bottom. Huh? All right.
Yeah, Wong sucks.
He's a great R&D guy.
He is.
Yeah, that's pretty much why you take him. So I'm surprised he isn't ranked higher.
Well, you could take Toad or Nebula or Black Widow in the same slot, and actually do something on your turn besides power up and give it to somebody once.
True. Yeah. I feel like
the heal's nice. But
yeah, I was gonna say I feel like people underestimate that ability to heal and not have to use a tactics card.
yeah. But when every single game you're going to be playing Gamma Waves and Hammers,
Right.
because near everyone has it.
I mean, hell, have we gotten to the point where we need to restrict both those cards?
One of them isn't Gamma Waves
Nope.
restricted? There's a Tactics, or there's a Crisis card that's restricted.
Yeah, it's
Oh, it was the one where you can blow dudes up to get 6 points or whatever. Yeah. I do like the fact that Research Station Attack moved up because that also plays on the same panel as Gamma Waves.
Yep.
So you're escorting that dude up and down the Gamma Waves effectively.
Yep.
So things have really moved towards everyone clusters in the middle.
The one that blows up is not. Oh no, it is restricted. Never mind. I was thinking Hard Muscle or whatever it was that.
Yeah, that got
came
just
out. It just straight banned. Yeah. So let's talk about some tactics cards specifically. And No More Mutants.
Yes.
Now, is ranked, I don't know, at the bottom.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, at 1.8%.
Mm-hmm.
But No More Mutants is way up there.
Yeah.
And there is a very important factor as to why.
Yes.
Yes. Because to use you have to bring Ebony Maw.
Yep.
And nobody's bringing Ebony Maw.
Yep.
Right.
So already it makes sense why it's super ranked higher because everybody's bringing Wanda.
Yes.
Yep.
Once again, and I've mentioned this several times, I am so happy they did Wanda. They did right by Wanda and made her an absolute fucking badass. Having to have the Ebony Maw tax on your team just to use the card, not on your roster, but actually even you have to bring him to game too to use it.
Right. Because he is so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
He's 4 threat base.
Yep.
You got to put a gem on him to make him even
5 threat.
I thought he was 4 with a gem.
No.
He's 5 with a gem?
5.
There you go. That's why.
Yeah. So I guess if you want to talk about power creep and you look at some of the 5s across the board and you have Ebony Maw on one hand,
right,
Scarlet Witch on the other, and you're like, okay.
Because I don't even think dropping him to a 4 does he become broken.
No.
You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, it's weird because he's got just such an odd kit because he can spend to use his Mystic Defense, which is 6 in place of his other stuff. He can throw anything very similar to
he's Magneto.
Yeah.
But Magneto's, fucking better.
Correct.
In every conceivable way.
Magneto can't throw people, he can. But even on Ebony Maw's builder, it's an advance. You can advance him. You mind control him. You don't actually throw him.
Right.
You got to spend for Dark Word or whatever it's called to actually do some real
Black
damage.
Tongue.
Yeah, Black Tongue. Give him the old Black Tongue.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I think this makes sense. Obviously, it's the same exact card. There's 1 word difference between the two, but one you have to bring and play Ebony Maw.
Right.
And the other you get to bring, honestly, what's the new She-Hulk. If I liked She-Hulk, I would be playing her as much as I am Scarlet Witch, but
fair. Yeah, you're not a She-Hulk player character. It's not your style.
Not my style.
Nope. Anything else you want to run down?
Yeah, so Dan had played Sin and Viper and got to use some of their tactics cards. He did take the tactics card, which lets you drop the bomb in the middle of a bunch of people. Didn't end up panning out.
I was going to say, did you just haul ass away from him because of how goofy it is?
No, I didn't. But yeah, it didn't end up getting played. He used the weapon one, the Sin and Crossbones super gun.
Oh, okay.
To some effect,
right,
for sure. Being able to AoE incinerate is actually super solid.
Sure.
Especially because everyone's going to be playing Gamma Waves. Apparently, it's probably going to be actually really good.
Yep.
The can I borrow that? The success rate on that is actually pretty solid. I was really expecting that to not really be able to be pulled off, but even with a 4 strength builder, I didn't even have to use Colonic Fury to be able to use it. Just his basic supersonic strike.
Right.
And it's awesome.
Yeah.
He moved up. He used that. He did 1 damage. 2 damage to Sabretooth. Had enough energy to use Can I Borrow That first round and was able to take a legacy virus off somebody.
Sweet.
I think we're going to be seeing a pretty heavy meta based around being able to just straight yoink.
Yeah, we don't even have
and civilian tokens off of people.
Yeah, we don't even have other yankers.
Right.
That are bound to be here soon.
Right. I'm sure Squirrel Girl, when she comes out, will have an ability just called Yoink, where she just yoinks it right off you, you know?
Well,
Or like nuts in my mouth.
Right.
Yep. She just like hoards it all in her cheek pouches.
I like Squirrel Girl. I don't know why you guys have to constantly shit on her.
I have nothing against her. I just wanted to make a nut joke.
Yeah.
Fair. Speaking of nuts,
Chocked full of them.
Yeah, I have no segue there.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
So you're gonna say you have no nuts, and I was like,
accurate. Yes, no, I don't.
okay.
So the
Castrated at birth.
the other tactics card we were going to talk about was Whims of Chaos.
Right.
Which is the spend X power to afflict or heal X people within range 3. I want it to be better. Like, it's not bad. It's very good. But the healing is so little on it. It often doesn't seem like it's really doing much of anything.
You get one heal. You get one damage taken off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a status effect.
Right, but status effect is so much better. It's Incinerate, Hex, or Root. I mean, Root's good.
Yeah, Root's good.
But you have to remember what you're not. You're putting a status effect on somebody, but more importantly, you potentially are taking one of their 2 actions away. Because they realistically have to shake or they're going to get punished.
Correct.
You know, Root sucks.
Yeah.
And we hadn't seen it for so long.
Root's definitely one of those ones that's like super hit or miss. If you were playing someone with throws, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Against almost all of the Web Warriors, awesome.
Yeah, it hurts Web Warriors insane.
Even against Sinister, forcing him to have to spend power to use a genetic sample to get rid of the root is annoying on several levels.
And then even if you're honestly tucking in a Loki, now it's going to cost you 2.
So that part of it I like a lot.
Right.
I would love to run that. Increasing the power cost of superpowers or reactives by 2 is nuts. Yeah.
There you go.
That's all I got for you, baby girl.
Well, we tried. Any wish list? Anything out there that you want to see? You think we'll ever see Apocalypse? You think that we'll get an Ultimate Encounters box like like Thanos?
Absolutely.
I think so too. It'd be cool to have another throne. Like an Apocalypse throne.
Yeah, I think not only will we get that, but in the Ultimate Encounter, you can bring X threat of other people to make your horseman.
That'd be dope.
Right?
Unless he does. Do you think he's the first character to come out where we don't like his affiliation ability is you get to bring whoever you want and automatically counts as having like rogue agent and they count as being his.
Yes.
And then his affiliation is completely based around buffing them.
Yeah.
Like giving them abilities, but they take damage anytime the affiliation happens. Like just something to balance it.
Yeah. I like that a lot. Yes, I do. That would be radish.
AMG, if you're listening, you can send the check any day now.
Right.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Just leave it in Dallas's office. We're in there enough.
Yeah, accurate.
When he's not there specifically.
Yeah.
Smelling his things.
Yep.
But, how about you, Danny? Any secret hopes of characters to come out?
So, yeah, for the sake of my husband, Iceman would be real nice.
Yeah.
Still Blink. Super stoked for Jean Grey, though. Very, very excited for her to come out. And just like I showed Lily, I was reading up about Black Cat before I came down, and I was like, oh, I got to read up about her. And I showed her, and she was like, so she looks so cool. And I love that they're like just constantly pumping out like badass women to play. Like, that's so freaking cool.
Yep.
So
probably the 3 strongest single characters in the game right now, all women.
Yeah.
Angela, She-Hulk, and Scarlet Witch.
Okoye.
Yep.
I mean, the
fucking Okoye,
utilitarian, just so fucking useful.
Yeah.
Yep.
Women get it done.
They sure do.
Yeah. True believers. Thank you for joining us once again, Scotty, my boy. That's it.
Oh.
Bye.